You know, if they celebrated Americanism and included gay people into that, Matt Walsh would have a problem with that. He would then say, that's not traditional Americanism. Why are they injecting wokeness into Americanism? It's a never-ending thing for him. He just wants the non-straights to be non-existent. That's all it is. Huh? Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds good.
Grandpa's feeling a little frisky today.
Oh, dear.
Let me say something to all you and be as clear and concise as possible.
Kid Rock. Ah. HKMG5. Well.
Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch. Have a terrific day.
All right. Well, that was Kid Rock reacting to, having a very triggered reaction, by the way, to the campaign ad that Bud Light has started recently. Bud Light reached out to Dylan Mulvaney, TikTok trans content creator, whatever, to kind of, advertise and try to get the attention of, a community that they probably don't really market towards. Bud Light's generally always been marketed to guys, sports fans, kind of like, regular normie suburban football watching Americans. But Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light would like to make the trans' money too. They would like gay money. They would like all people's money. All people's money in a capitalist system is appreciated. So naturally they decided, hey, we want to get to this audience. We might need to go to somebody who, what's the word I'm looking for? Who can speak to that audience and kind of, push our product to them. Unfortunately, this really angered quite a few Republicans and probably a few conservatives, that being Matt Walsh and a few, Matt Walsh, Candace Owens, a lot of these people. We covered that yesterday on the show. It was Candace reacting to this. I didn't actually see that Kid Rock video until later, though. Really funny, though. Like, the idea that you're so upset because a company decided that not only are they willing to make a commercial for you and your sensibilities, but they're also willing to make a commercial for somebody else's sensibilities, is somehow really, really just upsets you deep down, is, and I mean this, childish and baby-brained. Which, we're talking about Kid Rock. These two descriptors aren't far off from Kid Rock the person, but yeah, for whatever reason, they've been pretty upset about this. I think this was the other ad. Or who is this? Yeah. Dylan Mulvaney hanging out in a bath with Bud Light. My favorite thing about this yesterday was Candace complaining that there was a person in a bathtub with bubbles and Bud Light and how that's weird or something, when just go look at Bud Light ads from even the early 2000s. Bud Light's always marketed using, sexual imagery. Let's just be honest about that. But it seems that we have another victim to the woke mob this week, that being Jack Daniels, I guess. So let's see what the big controversy is now.
Began with,
actually, one second, let me let's just force this into 1080p. Thank you very much. All right, let's go.
This week began with Anheuser-Busch, the makers of an alcoholic goat.
Oh, also, I said that we would follow up with this, so let me go find it really quickly. Because there was the speculation. Candace Owens, I believe, said that this move would tank the company. Okay, here we go. One second. Let me switch this over. Yeah, I was told this was going to tank the company. it looks like it has gone down 16 cents over the last 5 days. Let's take a look. Over the last 5 days, it has lost 66 cents. So, is it a loss? Sure. Are they going to probably bounce? Also, it's, as I'm looking at it, it doesn't really look, well, let's see. Let's take a month here. So, yeah, over the course of the last month, they've been up $6. Well, that's actually pretty good growth. So, something tells me they're not super worried. You can kind of see this isn't really this isn't a drop. This is a, what is this? Like a very minor, not even $1 of a drop. So, yeah, they're not, trust me, they're not tanking the company over this, to be clear. But
urine beverage they call a Bud Light, signing an endorsement deal with the woman face. This week began with Anheuser-Busch, the makers of an alcoholic goat urine beverage they call a Bud Light, signing an endorsement deal with the woman face.
Oh yeah, I just want to say off the bat, I really love how everyone's now, conservatives now are like, ew, Bud Light, I never drank that anyway, it was always disgusting. Bud Light, dude, if you didn't like it and you didn't care before, you wouldn't have cared now, but you did before and you care now. So please spare me about the quality of the beer. Also, all beer is disgusting.
Minstrel show performer Dylan Mulvaney. Now, some conservatives, the ones who still somehow don't realize what time it is, refuse to believe that Bud Light would betray them like this after all those many gallons of the beer-like substance they consumed out of red plastic cups in their younger days, mostly before they were of legal drinking age. How could the company stab them in the back now after all of that? It must be some kind of April Fool's prank, they insisted. It can't be real. But then Anheuser-Busch confirmed in a statement that it was no joke at all. Of course it wasn't. They had indeed partnered with Mulvaney in an effort to, quote, authentically connect with the audiences across various demographics and passion points.
Which is to say, they'd like to make some of the gays money. So we asked Dylan Mulvaney to be in our videos and hopefully convince some trans or trans allied people to buy Bud Light. That's the big controversy. Keep in mind, it's just they just wanted to make some money from gay people. That's it. That's all this is.
So by teaming up with the trans influencer, they had succeeded in connecting with any men in their customer base whose greatest passion point is dressing up like an adolescent girl and passing out tampons in the women's restroom, as Mulvaney is known to do.
They already
but
have
that was only the beginning of
They already have the college-aged frat boy money.
On Wednesday, Mulvaney excitedly announced another major brand partnership, and this time it was Nike. Nike is also sponsoring Mulvaney.
You guys hate Nike, so I don't know why you guys care either.
Modeled Nike leggings and a Nike sports bra. So if you're a woman shopping for leggings and sports bras, and you want to know what the product might look like on the female body, you know, like your body, unfortunately, you're out of.
Does that not look like the female body, Matt? Are you saying this is a man's body? Is this what men look like to you, Matt? Is Matt into femboys? Maybe. Confirmed.
But if, on the other hand, you want to know what they look like on a flat-chested man with the physique of a large tropical flightless bird, well, then Nike has you covered.
I love all these.
But so far, we've covered only
insults.
2 days of the week. Corporate America has 7 days to cram as much wokeness in as they can, and as we've seen, they'll give it their best effort every single week. So also then this week, a Jack Daniels campaign went viral, a campaign which actually was first launched in 2021.
Not Jack Daniels.
Called Small Town Big Pride.
Ooh, there we go.
The company teamed up with drag queens from the show RuPaul's Drag Race to promote whiskey and drag queens.
Damn,
actually,
what
it appears that Jack Daniels produced an entire reality TV series that they released on their YouTube channel about drag queens called Summer Glamp. It sounds pretty gay, just based on the title and the description.
Well, yeah,
but you have no idea
might be.
just how gay it actually is. Here's a clip.
No way. Matt, nobody's forcing you, dude. Like, this is the funny thing about these guys. They will maul about LGBT media. They will maul over this. Nobody is forcing you to watch this, my guy. You are obsessed. Understand, you are obsessed with hate watching. Gay content creator content. Trans content. you might want to observe that fact and that tendency that you have a little bit.
What's going on with this rain? This is not conducive for a pride party.
We got up in the morning and it was just pouring.
You can't rain on our parade? I'm so glad we're not in drag and heels and wigs right now.
Can you imagine?
That's a cool shirt. I like that shirt.
The weather being so bad and just makeup and hair. Oh, that would be that stretch inside it. But listen, people, we have a party to plan and we need to go get some decorations.
Yeah.
And we need to get this going, honey. We're expecting people.
Let's go to the town square and get some party supplies.
I'm ready.
Oh my gosh, she looks so stunning in every single one of these dresses to the nines.
This is going to be the fiercest party Lynchburg has ever seen. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride, sisters. Let's do a cocktail.
Let's do it. We should make a Jack 5 cranberry.
Yes, we should.
Okay, come on, I gotta help.
Cheers.
Geez, a vodka cranberry. Something that cis people could never.
So I wonder who's going to show up.
Well,
Understand. I want everyone to know, if you're straight, you drink a vodka cranberry from now on, you're gay. Sorry. Them's the rules. Those are the rules now. You're gay now. How's it feel? You're gay now. I don't know what to tell you. You can pick up your rainbow-colored flag and belt on your way out of the bar, but you are now gay now. You need to go to the gay bar now. What is going on with this person? Well, that's a fun camera thing.
You know, Jack
Filter.
Daniel's whiskey was founded by a guy named Jasper Newton Daniel, nicknamed Jack, in the 1880s. And he
Holy
first learned
shit,
how
who
to
cares?
make moonshine whiskey from a local preacher in his town of Lynchburg.
Man, tell me how much of a
I can
man
only
you
imagine
are, Matt.
how that old Tennessee moonshiner must feel looking on from the grave and seeing what they've done to his beloved whiskey and his name.
If my dude came, if we brought forward fucking Jasper into the modern day, he would be disturbed by everything that's going on, Matt. Trust me, my friend. He'd be disturbed by that awful plush baby bearded doll thing that you have. Trust me when I say that guy's sensibilities, his 1880s sensibilities, would have a lot to say about a lot of stuff. It's almost like we should keep that kind of mindset in 1880.
It must feel like dying all over again. And yet, this was not the only drag queen corporate brand sponsorship to make the news this week. Build-A-Bear announced also, just in time for Easter, a new RuPaul.
The dude would see a TV and fucking throw a chair at it. Like, fucking, he's a witch. What have you done with the projection of these images, sir? I'm a simple moonshiner, and you're showing me images on floating around the world. Like, Jasper would have a lot of problems. He wouldn't even bump into keep in mind, he wouldn't even bump into a trans person. He'd just show up and be disturbed by cars. He'd be like, what is this contraption? This foul beast. Like,
drag bear. For the low price of $56, you can buy a stuffed bear dolled up in hideous makeup and a ridiculous wig, just like a real life drag queen.
Wait, but it's just you just so red. It's really just red, and really the only thing that I don't even know if you would think this is drag. Actually, there's nothing about this that says drag. If you bought a like womanly gendered doll, this is what it would probably look like.
Nike, Jack Daniels, Bud Light, Build-A-Bear, all in 1 week. Brands we can add to the list. Hershey's is another recent one, of course, of companies that have not simply gone
Conservative,
woke.
just stop.
It's not just that, but have
doing
in fact
everything.
adopted and promoted.
Just stop
the
buying
most
anything.
Extreme
All of you should only,
have to
We're
make
every
companies
single possible thing.
We're not talking about companies that simply issue shallow
you all need
platitudes
to
about
head back into
diversity
the forest
inclusion
and
or whatever.
trade
This
chickens
is extreme,
for things.
Radical, hiring a man to model your sports bra, putting out a video series with flamboyant homosexual drag queens vomiting rainbow colors all over the screen. This is not entry-level wokeness. These companies are not cautiously dipping their toes into the progressive pool. They are diving headfirst into the deepest end. And they're doing it in spite of the fact that their customer base is, at best, not interested in this sort of thing.
What's the difference? No, really. You can go to a liquor store. It's not like you go to the liquor store and you give the guy at the liquor store your ID. You show them your ID, you put down your bottle of Jack Daniels, and they like duck under the counter, pop back up with a wig and makeup, and then try to sell you more whiskey or whatever. Like that, nobody, Matt, I hope you know that if you didn't make this video, if you weren't so obsessed, far less people would even had known this happened and probably would just buy their whiskey and not think twice. The bottle isn't going to hurt you. Matt, it's not going to turn you trans. I'm sorry. It just isn't. You're not going to drink it and sprout a wig or drag makeup or suddenly be into dick. I'm sorry. I know that's what you want, but it's just not going to happen. It's just not. It's just, depending on who you ask, bad whiskey. That's all I'm saying.
At the end of that Jack Daniels clip, we see a burly old guy with a straw hat and overalls and a thick Tennessee accent showing up to a bar decorated with rainbow balloons to order whiskey from drag queens.
Yeah.
Okay. That is not,
you ever been to a dive bar?
Reflective of reality. Okay, that guy does look like a Jack Daniels drinker.
I've gotten
and
whiskey
probably a Bud Light drinker too, if I had to guess. But I highly doubt
I've gotten
that,
whiskey from
that he represents the
some
typical
pretty
audience for LGBT inclusion propaganda.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Rather, he represents
interesting
the audience
characters
alienated
at
by
dive
such
bars.
propaganda. So why are the brands doing this? What's the point? What's their game?
Here comes
here?
the
What's
money.
the play? Is there a play?
Here comes
Is there
the
a strategy
money.
at all?
Money, 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 money,
Well, to
money,
answer
money,
that,
money, money, money.
We have to
dollar,
understand
dollar,
two things.
dollar, dollar, ching, ching.
And these are both
bling,
very
bling,
important.
cut the
They're
cheddar.
both things that conservatives tend to miss.
Okay.
So first,
okay. What are conservatives too dumb to notice?
Are not trying to appeal to their customers with this kind of stuff. So when we say it doesn't appeal to the customers, well, it's not meant to. The goal is to make their customers or remake them. So if you're a Jack Daniels consumer, you probably have no interest in drag queens and gay pride.
What?
But the point.
Wait. Say that again for me, Matt.
Understand two things.
Okay, two things. Okay, hit me with the
And
first
these
one
are
again.
both very important, and they're both things that conservatives tend to miss.
Right.
So first,
wait. These are things conservatives miss. Okay.
Brands are not trying to appeal to their customers with this kind of stuff.
Wait, conservatives say that all the time. Wait, you guys say this all the time. Every time a company does literally anything that doesn't align with your value system, you say that they're not representing their customers, even though they're not your representatives, you fucking idiots. But still, you guys always say this. What are you talking about? Conservatives miss this? No, they don't. This is all you all say. You all just say that, oh, well, they're not representing us. They're not representing their real customers. Like,
so when we say it doesn't appeal to the customers, well, it's not meant to.
Right.
The goal is to make their customers. Or
right.
them.
It's the
So if you're a Jack Daniels consumer,
what's the word? It's the it's replacement. It's white replacement. He's right. He is right. It is just white replacement. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so let's get this clear. Matt Walsh is not solely interested in white replacement. That we already kind of knew about. But I'm glad he's kind of trying to take the same structures, the same biases, and the same argument and trying to mold it into an argument against sexual orientation and probably gender orientation as well. So, okay. So, cool. We've established this now. We now know this going forward. Matt Walsh is one of the people who thinks, no, you see, Jack Daniels, Jack Daniels, they want you to be gay. They want you to be a drag queen. They want you to be all of these things. Why? The really simple question is, why? Why does Jack Daniels want you to be anything other than somebody who buys Jack Daniels? Do they get anything out of you being permissible of gay people? No. Do they get anything out of you being permissible of drag queens? No. Do they get anything out of you being permissible to trans people? No. Jack Daniels only benefits as long as you continue to buy their, some say, bad whiskey. That's all. That's the only thing they actually benefit from. This is what happens when your analysis isn't based on material evidence, material reality. Your brain is just propaganda. Matt Walsh suffers from a brain that is only propaganda. It's context, propaganda. It's explanations, propaganda. It's analysis, propaganda. All of it. It's all a cycle. It's just it's a feedback loop cycle of this propaganda thing that I think that I propagandize about. I'm then going to worry about it. I'm then going to create a narrative about it. That's then going to keep feeding the loop. That's all this is.
You probably have no interest in drag queens and gay pride. But the point,
you hear that?
Is they want to make you interested in those things.
You can't like those
You're not
things
now, but they want you to be.
Like Jack Daniels.
Whose point is that, though? Whose agenda is this? Are the people in Jack Daniels or Bud Light corporate offices, are they really passionate about spreading the LGBT gospel? Of course not. Are you like me, still struggling with those under eye bags and dark?
Oh, we know, Matt. We know. You're too, it's got to be tough to have to try to sleep. Matt, you probably need this. You probably have those bags under your eyes because you are suffering from sleep apnea due to being a bad person in your conscious, constantly reminding you and keeping you up due to it. But, that's your problem that I hope you never solve. So,
in a way, all of the neutral cultural ground. There is no neutral ground. This is where you have to understand the second point. The left has taken away all of the neutral cultural ground. There is no neutral ground anymore. It doesn't exist. This is all by design.
You mean like when the left got mad at M&Ms and what was and Bud Light and Bill the Bear and what's this one? Jack Daniels and I'm trying to think he had like a whole list earlier. Oh, Hershey's. You mean when the left got really upset about a lot of just a bunch of random ass consumer product companies? Is that us getting mad about random shit all the time? They say this all the time, and it's always a lie. But I am tired of hearing about the left. They always cancel culture, and they're always going after companies for blah, 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 blah. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to let you know, but no, this is a pretty broad, and by no means is this not a bipartisan thing. There are people on the left and on the right who go after this or that company for whatever slight they think that they committed against them. The only difference is on the left. On the smart half of the left, we understand that no company actually cares about values, about equal representation, about any of this shit. It's always the goal to make money off of whatever community they're marketing to. Whereas the right, the version of that for them is, let's be frank here. It's the Jews. Their version of that is it's the Jews. When we say that there are structures, undermining, American consumers and, undermining the values of, whenever we talk about structures to society and the way that we've organized it, specifically around capital and the influence that capital has on all of us, their version is it's the Jews. They're just trying to ruin America with their Jewiness. That's all they really actually mean.
You're not allowed to be neutral, according to the left. And this is why brands like Bud Light and Nike and Jack Daniels and Build-A-Bear are giving endorsement deals to dudes in dresses and hosting reality TV summer camps for drag queens.
Because they've never given
a beer
endorsements
company
to
or a whiskey
men.
company or a shoe manufacturer, they could basically be culturally neutral. I mean, for all intents and purposes. If they
What? Matt. No. Brands broadly, culturally, have always relied on their cultural clout. What is it? I know what it is. Michael, not Knowles. Like, the idea that you would even assert this says a lot about your stupidity.
Yo, Mars Blackman here with my main man, Michael Jordan. Yo, Mike, what makes you the best player in the universe? Is it the vicious stunts?
No, Mars.
Is it the haircut?
No, Mars.
Is it the shoes?
No, Mars.
Is it the extra long shorts?
No, Mars.
It's the shoes then, right?
Nah.
Is it the short socks?
No, Mars.
Money's gotta be the shoes.
These brands have always...
You sure it's not the shoes?
I'm sure, Mars.
What about the shoes?
No.
These brands have always relied on cultural their cultural ties to popular culture every time. Why do you think Pepsi did a commercial with what is her name? One of the I think it's one of the Jenners. Whatever. I'm just gonna say fuck. No, I don't know either of their names. Shit. I'm not one of those people who knows those people. Fuck. Whichever one. You know who I'm talking about. But why do you think they did that ad with them? Why do you think that they have these ads with celebrities? It's always the same reason. It's to market to some audience, some demographic that they haven't reached yet, or one that they are lagging behind with. The end of the day, Bud Light and Jack Daniels already know that college frat boys, 34-year-old suburban dads watching football, and random dive bar aficionados already drink Bud Light and Jack Daniels. They already do that. They already have their money. What they don't have is a foothold in LGBT circles, which means they need to spend a little bit of money marketing towards those groups if they want to see a return on that investment. Now, they either will or they won't, and that's up to how strong the marketing team is, and along with a lot of other factors. But the idea that somehow even that in and of itself isn't neutral is asinine. Marketing to everybody is neutral. But you see, to Matt Walsh, equality feels like oppression. That's where that line comes from. Because to Matt Walsh, the idea that you would market to somebody who looks and holds the biases that he does, and market to gay people, is wrong. It means it's a betrayal. To Matt Walsh, you either sell your products to him and people like him, or you sell it to the gays. And unfortunately, that's where his understanding of capitalism breaks down. You fucking idiot. The goal is to maximize profits. If that means they put a rainbow sticker on their dumbass Jack Daniels bottles, then they'll do it. Because every dollar extra is the goal. It's not cultural. It's not it's not the Jews trying to introduce trans ideology. It's not Jack Daniels trying to change your perception of the world. It is simply that they already sell you beer, and they would like the gays to buy it too. They would like the L's, the G's, the B's, and the T's, and everybody else to buy their beer or whiskey or whatever. In their perfect world, You know, the LGBTs hit the bar and the straights hit the bar, and they all come together with the understanding and relatable characteristic of enjoying not great beer and some say not great whiskey. It's not that complicated.
They did any virtue signaling, and companies have always done that, but they would have been signaling universal, or what used to be universal values like patriotism and charity, and we're gonna.
What are they gonna do? Wait, what are they gonna do with charity? You want them to just give money away? But see, if they did that, if Bud Light or Jack Daniels or whoever ever donated to a LGBT friendly or LGBT owned charity, Matt Walsh would have a problem with that. If they celebrated Americanism and included gay people into that, Matt Walsh would have a problem with that. He would then say, that's not traditional Americanism. Why are they injecting wokeness into Americanism? It's a never-ending thing for him. He just wants the non-straights to be non-existent. That's all it is.
Wave the American flag, and we're celebrating July 4th, and we're that sort of thing. But now the left has declared that you're either with them or against them. This is the silence is violence principle. And the left has ways of enforcing this principle. James Lindsay put out an important thread on Twitter explaining one of
Matt
these
Walsh
ways.
go on Twitter and say that
the Human Rights Campaign.
Unless you're
they put out a report every year called the
basically
Corporate Equality
anti-trans,
Index.
then
And corporations are given a score, which is meant to measure their fidelity to left-wing doctrines. If these companies do not go out of their way, again, it's not good enough to just, not say anything, or if they don't go out of their way to wave the pride flag and display their wokeness bona fides, they will be judged socially irresponsible, quote unquote, and they'll have points deducted.
Maybe they should have a backbone then. It's funny because they always talk about, oh, you're not allowed to say this, you're not allowed to say that. Well, why don't you whine more or just have a fucking spine? Go ahead, go out there and be like, nah, man, we're Bud Light, fuck the gays. That's fine. And when all gay people hear that, and I'm willing to guess a non-zero proportion of them are going to go, oh, well, I'm not going to be buying that anymore. We'll be interested to see what happens. But they already know the research. They know the data. They know whatever percentage of their sales consist of LGBT, people who purchase their products. You think they're willing to give up that percentage of their profits? Most of them aren't. Because again, they're here to make money, not to deal with all this cultural bullshit.
And you don't want, if you're a corporation, you don't want to have a low score
Got a lot of
with
beer
the
options.
Human Rights Campaign.
A lot of better ones than Bud Light, too.
The HRC is just one of many well-funded
Hillary
left-wing
Rodham
advocacy
Clinton? No, I'm
groups
just joking,
whose
I know.
sole purpose on this earth is to use these extortion techniques to extract ideological concessions from corporate America. There are many
Matt, you guys are making your own chocolate as a way to
well-oiled machines that the left has at their disposal to do exactly this.
To pressure
Which leaves the
Hershey's
brands
into
with a
not
choice.
making
They
the she,
can be
hers bar or
baptized into
whatever.
wokeism and openly worship at the LGBT altar, or they can, by default,
It's
align
funny they say
themselves
this
with
like it's
conservatives,
a,
thereby failing
They say
the
this stuff like
social
it's a dig,
responsibility
like it's
test.
like a cult thing. Idiot. This is what
In other
you
words,
all
they
do
can be left-wing or
every
they can be
Sunday.
right-wing.
I've been to church.
And again, if your
You can-
answer
like,
is, well, why can't
Nobody in the left talks about any of our advocacy organizing any of it. And none of us are baptizing each other. None of us are, kneeling at an altar. What's funny is you use the imagery of Christianity, of Christian, what's the word I'm looking for? God damn, what is the word I'm looking for? Like Christian imagery, Christian traditions. Yeah, we'll go with that one. Practices. And then you paint those as negative, but for what? Making it about trans people? Like, dude, it's weird because you're all kind of weird. Like when he says that, I picture in my head the fucking Ganados from Resident Evil 4. The only difference is that's what you do at church, idiot. Nobody in the trans community, nobody on the left does that for like a flag of Bernie Sanders, except for maybe Caleb Maupin and some of his crew. But you know, I don't. It's a reason why I don't swim in those waters.
Can't they be neither? I mean, why not just make the whiskey? Why do you? It's not an option. That option is not being left open to them. The left says you have to choose. If you're not with us, you are against us. If you are not openly left-wing, you are right-wing. So what are the corporations going to do? You know, the left will do
Matt doesn't
everything in their
understand
power,
that
and they have a lot of it.
That if Jack
to
Daniels
make
isn't
any
openly
corporation
right-wing,
pay dearly
that,
for disloyalty.
you know,
Piss off
if they
the right,
even
on the other
you
hand,
know,
and you'll have to
tack
deal
even
with
a
some
little
angry
to the
tweets.
left,
And that's it.
they'll whine
Nothing
about
else will happen.
no,
So
not
it's
my
an
whiskey.
easy choice for them.
Why don't
Go
you guys
woke,
just make
go
your own
broke,
business?
You know, we like to say. We like to say that to ourselves. It's kind of a psychological coping mechanism.
It's a
on the
cope.
right. Go
You
woke.
heard it. You heard it here first. No more. No more. Matt Walsh, the bearded of all of you, the most bearded of all of you, have said it. It's cope. I never want to hear it again. All of you need to stop right now. It's over. Get woke, go broke has always been fiction. It always was. It always will be. Cope, die mad. Continue to maul all of you.
Go broke. We repeat it as a mantra in the mirror while we're doing our daily affirmations. We whisper it while we rock ourselves to sleep at night. It's a comforting thought. But like most comforting thoughts, it's not true. Because companies go woke all the time. Almost all of them have.
And we make money.
And guess what? None of them have gone broke because of it.
They all do
So
incredibly
go
well
woke, go
because
broke,
you're in the
at least on the
minority.
corporate level.
We are in the majority.
That's never happened. Go woke, go broke really means, in practice, go woke and then continue along the same as you did before, suffering no consequences whatsoever.
Yep. Makes sense to me.
The consequences are ultimately suffered by us because the corporate wokeness has the desired effect.
Well, yeah,
it normalizes radical left-wing ideology. It
Can you tell me how many people have like turned gay since the Jack Daniels drag ad? How many among you drank your Jack Daniels and thought, man, you know, I didn't think this before, but you know, 2 shots in, I could go for some dick right about now. How many among us? You know, it's just the most common thing you consistently hear from people. Totally a normal thing.
Which is the same thing as normalizing it. And it gradually makes it seem less radical and less left-wing to most people, even many on the right.
It's
who
almost
ostensibly
like
oppose the wokeness.
you're living in
This is why they do
a
it,
minority echo chamber.
See, many of us still will see advertisements as merely reflecting the culture, right? That's why we're so surprised when we see Jack Daniels turn into Jacqueline Daniela. This doesn't reflect the Jack Daniels customer base. We shout indignantly,
and it's why it feels like
to reflect. It's meant to
it's
shape.
not a mirror. He looks in the mirror.
They don't want to represent
Matt Walsh looks
your
in the mirror.
values. They want to make your
When
values.
will my reflection
The brands don't reflect us. We reflect the brands
inside
in consumerist America.
Fuck you.
So what can we do about
Matt
this?
Walsh looks at the commercials.
Well,
he sings that song to himself.
But let's stay focused on this
Why can't
specific
they?
issue
Why
of corporate
not- why don't I
wokeness
see
and one
myself?
specific thing we can do.
Why don't I see real America?
The first is we have to realize and accept that we are right now in the position of insurgents. The left won the culture a long time ago.
Well,
That's
you.
already done.
And you guys
So we are culturally, in effect,
losers.
Guerrilla fighters stationed in a camp out in the forest.
Losers.
We're not going to win a pitched battle against the entire system all at once. We're not going to take on all of corporate America and bring it to its knees.
Yep.
It's already on its knees, but for a different reason.
Keep in mind, Matt Walsh, this is why I mentioned the Jews earlier, because Matt Walsh keeps making it about, corporate America, friend. You're in the minority. I'm sorry to tell you, this country is not majority conservative. It's just not. I don't know how to break it to you, but the country generally is center left at absolute worst. So just let that sink in and continue to flail. I'm happy watching you all flail. But I'd appreciate if you all keep it within the boundaries of the rules set, instead of, like in Tennessee, just attempting to subvert democracy. That would be nice, but Republicans have never seen a democracy that they weren't willing to subvert anyway. So there's also that.
And not for us. So here's what we can do. Take a page from the left's old playbook, which is really just the playbook of cultural insurgency.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do is we pick one target.
Keep in mind, he pretends
one
that
victim. Every brand is woke. Every brand is kicking
it's an
us in the shins and
insurgency
spitting
or
in our
whatever by
faces. They
us.
all
No,
hate us.
it's just
so we can
we're
throw
more
up our
popular.
hands and do nothing, which is surrender,
hold
or we can try to
more
boycott them all at the
social
same time,
sway.
which is futile and doomed to failure.
Appeal to more
we
people.
can pick one, just one,
and generally are
and
better.
target it with a ruthless boycott campaign. Okay?
Boycotts
just
don't work.
pick one. And then you're going to have conservatives say, well, what about this one? What about that one? I mean, why are you boycotting this one, that, and that? They're also woke too. Well, because we're trying to do something here. It's called a strategy. Can you be strategic in your thinking for once in your life?
Man, dude, Matt Walsh is, God, he really wants to be the leader of a movement. I truly wonder what it's like. Matt Walsh has all of this, like strong man leader energy that he tries to project. And yet, he's just a sad guy who used to go on radio and run his mouth, who used to make weird videos in his car with a weird fedora on and a weird ass hat, and eventually got himself cleaned up enough that he could go on the Daily Wire, a millionaire, if not billionaire funded institution, so he could pretend to be this fucking John Connor of the right. Like, my dude, you didn't lose because you guys weren't strong enough. You didn't lose because you guys didn't work hard enough. You didn't lose because you all didn't convince enough people. Understand, Matt, you all lost because you're worse. That's why. Because you're less appealing and you're worse. All of your policies, all of your prescriptions, all of the elements of the society you want to build, people utterly hate, and we moved on from 20 to 40 years ago. But like a cancer, you have continued to come back with this traditionalist, conservative, fucking 19th century understanding of the world and the systems that bear down on every single person. It's why you have less answers for people, and it's why people don't like you guys. Because you're all a bunch of blowhard idiots who don't know anything. You revel in ignorance, and you fucking promote anti-democracy. I don't know what to tell you, man. We solved all of the problems of the past back then. But every time it's you guys who want to drag us back into the dark ages. And I'm sorry, but it's not going to work. It just won't. You can cry about it all you want, but it just won't. So go ahead, fight your guerrilla fight. But I'm done with you now. I'm done with this loser speech. I'm done with it. Ay, ay, ay. You know, the thing that they tell, you know, like at the end of all YouTube videos where they tell you to like click on one of these like things to watch more videos. Yeah, I've been meaning to film one of those. So that's what I was doing. I was just setting it up to film one.